Egerton University means future. Everything else is stoppable. Future is not. Being a world-class university for advancement of humanity, we are determined to ensure that we cherish our graduates appropriately and safely. Egerton University welcomes you to its first ever virtual graduation on the 31st of July, 2020.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in accordance with Statute 44, Section 4 of Egerton University Statutes,
having successfully completed my program of study,
acting on the power conferred by the University Act 2012 and knowing that you have satisfied the University Senate,
the class of 2020 will forever be unique. Egerton University, transforming lives through quality education.
Olingana linda kiozele, batemwe basala kite, na mituni solo toka wani, mikolo mibalenga na kawa, na sanyo sloto na zuwa yo yo yo, zabola etoka bola biso, amekipe ale isayomboma. Leolandi mabete basala Somo Betiche salinga nzele Motema eziki Makila nzoto esopani molimo ekomi kaina Kaina Olingana linda kiozele, batemwe basala kite, na mituni solo toka boni, mikolo mibalenga na kawa, asala nyoso mbona suwa yo 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 yo, kabola etoka bola biso, amekipe ale isayomba. Leolandi mabete basala Somo Betiche salinga nzele Motema iziki Makila nzoto isopani molimo ekomi kaina Kaina Olingana linda kiozele, batemwe basala kite, na mituni solo toka wani, mikolo mibalenga na kama, na sala nyoso mbona zuwa yo 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 yo, zabola ekoka bola biso, amekipe ale isayomuba. Leolandi mabete basala Somo Betiche salinga nzele Motema eziki Makila nzoto esopani molimo ekomi kaina Kaina Nalingi bae paso kitolingana, nalingi bae papa susu basala suwa, bele motema na ngai wa bolingo, Bale Bongio de Shite Amor Musindo Wana Bele Bastela mi petro gana kopesa yo Soki yo bebisile lo bango baseka Yamadi balinga kanini na kase Ina nini basale nangana yo Ika osoba Osoba Osoba
Mongaliena, Mongaliena, Mongaliena. Mongaliena, Mongaliena, Mongaliena. Aina kumana mabaya.
Anayeongoza ule msafara Hassan Omega akibeba kile kiti cha mezi, akifuatiwa na Daktari George Owino, Head of Department Instrumentation Control Engineering, akiwa mezbera. Nafuatiwa na wanafunzi, wakilishi wa wanafunzi. Then there are deans and directors. Karibuni. Our registrars, most welcome. Members of the University Council, Karibuni. Principal wa Nakuru Town Campus, unakaribishwa kabisa. Our Deputy Vice Chancellors, most welcome. The Vice Chancellor, karibu. Karibuni wageni wetu. Professor Kibwage, Professor Alex Kahi, karibuni. Cabinet Secretary, Education, Professor Magoha, karibu. Principal Secretary, State Department, Professor Ambassador, karibu. Chancellor Narendra Raval, karibu. Chairman of Council, Daktari Okawario, karibu. Vice Chancellor Madam Rose Monya, karibu. Wageni wetu mnakaribishwa. Asanteni sana. Thank you. Karibuni. Thank you. Thank you. Wageni, karibuni. We may remain. right hand to the left side of your chest for the Egerton anthem.
God of the universe, to thee we pray. Bless our university, a world-class varsity for humanity advancement. Egerton University we are. Passion for excellence, devotion to duty, professionalism, thus until in one accord, Egerton University we are. Ushirikiano na haki kwa wote, elimu hakika, tunapata ujuzi wa maendeleo ya kimataifa. Egerton chuo chetu cha hakika, kwa ufanisi kujitolea, utenda kazi milele, tukiungana kwa pamoja. Egerton chuo chetu cha hakika. In our varsity is set to achieve great opportunities through research and transforming lives through quality education. Egerton University we are. Kwa ufanisi kujitolea, utenda kazi milele, tukiungana kwa pamoja. Egerton chuo chetu cha hakika.
We may remain standing for a word of prayer from the chaplain, Father Dr. Gershom Jogona. Karibu, Father.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, as we gather today to celebrate this academic milestone, may this celebration be a reflection of the blessings that we find in knowing and loving you. We thank you for the blessing of our institution, Egerton University, that has given us a safe place to learn and work, and a strong foundation to build upon our careers and future endeavors. We pray that our university may be a lively center for sound learning, new discovery and pursuit of wisdom, encouragement, and excellence. May we all who are identified with Egerton University find you Bless our Cabinet Secretary for Education and his team in the ministry in fulfilling their mandate, and particularly during these challenging times, guide them in the decisions they make for the good of all stakeholders. In gratitude, we pray for the leadership of this university, starting with the Chancellor to members of the University Council, the Vice-Chancellor, the Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Principal, Registrars, and other members of the University Management Board. Thank you, Lord, for their commitment and dedication to the functions of our university. Thank you for providing them with new and creative ideas on how to better fulfill their duties and complete the tasks that you have entrusted to them. We pray for insight and wisdom to bring out the best in their administration as they drive the vision of the university of being a world-class university for the advancement of humanity. Almighty God, we thank you for the deans of faculties, the directors, the chairpersons of departments, academic and administrative staff who have challenged, cared, and crafted our graduates along their academic journey. We pray that they may continue serving others with the same kindness and compassion. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the parents, the guardians, and family members of our graduates who have sacrificed and worked hard to see them to this hopeful moment. As we send our graduates forward and as they chart new beginnings, dear Lord, we pray that you bless and guide them. May what they have learned at Egerton University allow them to truly be men and women for others. Help them to use what they have learned to make the world a better place and to always seek the greater good. As their careers commence, may they conduct their life's work with exceptional skills and integrity. Grant that they may come to know more clearly the purpose that their labors, their learning, and their degrees and diplomas will play in your divine plan. As they journey into unprecedented times, may they know your guidance in their concerns and fears. May they know your peace. Bless them and sustain them as they go forth. Direct their steps, that your plans for them would prosper, that every place you have determined for them to walk would be paved clear. We ask you to open doors that need to be opened and close every one that should be shut. Allow every gift and treasure you have placed inside their lives to grow, develop, and flourish to the glory of your name. May you raise greatness in their lives, willing to stand strong and true, passionate for you, believing that you have designed them for purpose and good works, which you have planned and prepared in advance for them. Lastly, dear Lord, the world is prey to the suffering, fear, anxiety, and despair because of the tragic coronavirus pandemic. Most merciful and true God, illumine the minds of men and women engaged in scientific research, that guided by you, the source of true knowledge, they may find effective solutions to overcome the virus. Almighty God, bring healing, remove all fear from our hearts, and fill us with confidence in your care. We commit the entire program of the day unto your able hands, that all the activities for the day shall be successful. This prayer I make through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
We may be seated. Thank you, Father, for that word of prayer and putting us before the Lord. And thank you, our guests. You're most welcome. Feel at home. And now we're going to have a short session of entertainment. And ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, we have had a difficult time since March. Most of our students went away, but our international students had to be maintained and kept at the university. And today we have the honor and privilege of having our students, some of our international students, one from Lesotho, another one from Swaziland, making a presentation, a congratulatory tune. And we'll hear that from Mandisa, Sinizo, and Lindley Refonike. Karibuni.
The Chancellor, Egerton University, Cabinet Secretariat, all protocol observed. My name is Dintle Patricia Rafuneke, a student in Egerton University, pursuing Master of Science in agriculture and applied economics from Lesotho.
My name is Manzisam Tsiniso. I'm a student at Egerton University, pursuing a PhD in animal science, and I come from the kingdom of Eswatini. So today we'll sing a congratulatory song. Congratulations, Siyanibongela, Ngobu Jehovah, Uniphumelelisile. Translated, congratulations, we are thankful for God has made you successful. We may not know the struggles that you have faced throughout your academic journey, but what we know is that today you are graduating. That is evident that God has been with you throughout your academic studies. We will join this song with another song, Thula Sizwe, Ungabokhala, uJehova wakho uzokunqobela. That is, hush nation, do not cry. The Lord your God will conquer for you. As a nation and as a world at large, we are faced with this coronavirus pandemic. But this song today reminds us that in the midst of all these situations that we are facing, in the midst of all these challenges that we are facing, we should take heart and trust in God, because one day He will free us, for He is forever faithful. Welcome.
Congratulations, Siyanibongela, Ngobu Jehovah, Uniphumelelisile. Congratulations, Siyanibongela, Ngobu Jehovah, Uniphumelelisile. Congratulations, Siyanibongela, Ngobu Jehovah, uniphumelelisile. Thula Sizwe, ungabokhala, uJehova wakho uzokunqobela. Thula Sizwe, ungabokhala,
Let us give a hand of applause, maintaining social distance all the same, for that powerful song from the Kingdom of Swaziland. Thank you so much for that presentation. We really appreciate your commitment and delivery of that item. May I take this opportunity to once again welcome all our guests. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and being with us here today. May I also recognize our students and staff logged on virtual platforms for your dedication to be with us today. May I take this opportunity to also recognize Professor Joseph Bosire, logged on, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic Affairs, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. Karibu Professor. Professor Engineer Benedict Mutua, Deputy Vice Chancellor Planning, Partnership, Research and Innovation, Kibabi University, logged on, Karibu, and many other guests, friends and relatives joining us today for this great occasion, and all our guests here, Karibuni sana. May I now take this opportunity to walk all guests here and those on virtual platform through the various states, parts of Egerton University. I walk through and sights and sounds of Egerton University for us to just appreciate Egerton spans from Nairobi, Nakuru town campus, and here the main campus, all the way to Chemeron. Let's watch the screens for that beautiful moment. Thank you, Coeleb team, for those sights and sounds of Egerton University, spanning all the way from Nairobi, Nakuru Town Campus, and Main Campus, Joro. May I take this opportunity to invite the Registrar Academic Affairs, Professor Mwanarusi Saidi, to read the citations. Karibu, Professor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, Statute 44 of the Egerton University Statutes 2013 provide that for the purpose of conferring degrees and awarding of diplomas of the university, there shall be held from time to time a meeting of the university, which shall be called a congregation. If the Senate so decides, other academic distinctions may be conferred and certificates awarded at such a congregation. In accordance with Section 4 of the same statute, I now call upon the Vice Chancellor to constitute the 42nd congregation of Egerton University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in accordance with the Statute 44, Section 4 of Egerton University Statutes 2013, I now constitute the 42nd congregation of Egerton University.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chancellor, for that opening and constitution of this congregation. May I recognize the following guests who are already logged on and with us. Mr. Evans Watera, Registrar Academic Affairs, Great Lakes University, Kisumu. Welcome. Ms. Josephine Dambuki, Manager, Konza Technopolis. Karibu. They are with us on the virtual platform, plus all the other guests. Mnakaribishwa sana. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to welcome the presentation by the student valedictorian to give his remarks.
Today is an exciting day for us all, but especially for the graduates. It is a great honor and privilege for me to share in the intensity of emotions filling our hearts as we graduates closes this chapter of our lives. In the year 2015, full of dreams, our journey began in this beloved institution, which in our naivety and fear, it took us under its loving wings and nurtured us. It taught us to be fearless and strong, and despite all odds, the COVID-19 pandemic included, we are here graduating today in the first ever virtual graduation ceremony at Egerton University. One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for some times. This word by Andrew Gates resonates well with me. To achieve success, we have to learn to let go of our comforts. Our beloved lecturers have always echoed the same throughout our stay here, by inculcating in us the spirit of hard work, teamwork, sacrifice, and responsibility. May you all be blessed abundantly. Now, as we join the growing family of Egerton University alumni, I look back to the beginning, those moments when we laughed with our comrades, sharing meals and our wild get-togethers, happy times, especially classes of Fridays bounce. And that first year when we couldn't locate a lecture hall, when everything was new and strange, but beautiful friendship bloomed. Those tiny moments form bits and pieces of our life's tale. Fellow graduates, unions and partings are common in life. As we endeavor to find and fit every piece of life puzzle, let us be a candle that melts selflessly to give light to others. This is the spirit of love, to service to love. This gift has touched our life since, in subtle yet profound ways, from our loving parents, friends, lecturers, and even the other staff, who throughout our journey have become pillars of support and an oasis to draw strength from. May the Almighty bless them abundantly. As we part, I wish you the best. Become a brand, be a grand, and don't sell your brand too short. To our alma mater, our beloved Eger, your every nook and cranny we have touched, as much as you've touched us. We will miss being here. You have taught us that the ability to achieve greatness is within us. Our paths may take different turns, We may walk too far to trace our steps back home, but your values are engraved in our DNA. Our class of 2020, congratulations, stay safe.
Thank you, Seth. Seth is a student in the Department of Agricultural Education and Extension in the Faculty of Education and Community Studies. An excellent student, did very well, emerged tops in the class as well. Congratulations. May I now recognize our sign language writer at the corner of the screen. Sign language interpreter is none other than Madam Faith Ombima. She will be with us through this function today. This is now the opportunity for an Egerton alumni, an excellent trailblazer for Egerton, a leading light in the global scene. May I take this time to now welcome Dr. Nelly to give her presentation. Karibu, Dr.
I am Dr. Nelly Isigi Kadagi. I currently work as the Director of the Education for Nature Program and Conservation Leadership Initiatives at the World Wildlife Fund, or WWF, in Washington, D.C., United States. I'm also a co-principal investigator on an ongoing regional project on bellfish that spans across 10 countries, brings together over 20 collaborators, 9 students, and many other scientists to work on solving research questions to do with bellfish. And I'm so excited about that. I started at Egerton University in 2005, completed in 2009, having pursued a Bachelor of Science degree in Applied Aquatic Sciences. I remember my time at Egerton University as life-changing, amazing, and also challenging, because it was this time that gave me a platform to be able to think about problems from a much bigger vision and be able to distill them into smaller objectives that can be solved. I really value this time. My message to the graduates today is that we are living in hard or unprecedented times, but that doesn't mean that we have to take away the opportunity to celebrate, because it is in acknowledging our wins that we are able to sit down, reimagine, reimage, restructure, and think about how we are going to move forward in finding solutions for these challenging times. To the current students, I was where you were, and what I would like to let you know is that take this opportunity to go out, show up, and grab those opportunities so that you can be the change that we need. I'm so delighted to spend this time with you, to celebrate with you, and I am a proud Egerton University alumni. Thank you.
We're proud of you, Dr. Kadagi, for the work you're doing out there and for making Egerton proud. She started from a very humble beginning through Egerton University, through the struggles she's mentioned, to the world platform, and we're proud of that. That is a brand that Egerton delivers to the world. Thank you. May I now take this opportunity to invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ross Monya, to give her remarks.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the PS, Ministry of Education, chancellors of other universities present virtually, chairman of Egerton University Council, council members, Egerton University, chairpersons of councils of other universities present virtually, vice chancellors of other universities present virtually, deputy vice chancellors, members of the university senate, senior government officials, members of staff, graduating class, parents, guardians, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity on behalf of Egerton University Management to welcome you all to Egerton University, and on behalf of management team, Senate, staff, and students, I appreciate your presence here and those who are looking at us virtually for joining us today as we celebrate the 42nd graduating ceremony. To those graduating, congratulations for a job well done. I'm aware that this is a unique graduation since we are used to seeing one another, laughing, hugging, and taking selfies, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we are not able to do so. We have to do it virtually. We are here to grace the occasion with pomp, color, joy, deep reflection because of your faith in yourself, in your abilities, the faith and the determination to succeed, and your endurance through it all. I know it has been tiring, rough, challenging, but you emerged victorious. Once more, congratulations. Today, a total of 1,018 students are going to be awarded diplomas and conferred degrees across our various faculties. We are just about to award 90 diplomas and confer 874 bachelor's degrees, 44 master's degrees, and 10 PhDs. We take pride in the input of your parents, guardians, your faculty, staff, family, and friends who participated in one way or another in refining the individuals we are celebrating today. Though we miss seeing you physically, we are still celebrating your achievements. Mr. Chancellor, sir, allow me to recognize and thank the CS Education, Professor George Magoha, and his team for taking time from their busy schedule to be with us during this joyous occasion. I also want to thank the PS, University Education and Research, Ambassador Simon Abukwesi, for coming over to be with us. We as a university are grateful for the support the ministry has been according us. I also thank the government through the Ministry of Interior for ensuring that the university is secure by employing for us or deploying security officers inside the university compound. Finally, I want to thank my staff, academic members of staff, for their efforts in making this ceremony successful despite all the challenges associated with COVID-19 protocols. On the onset of March 20th or thereabout, students were advised to go home. The staff members were also advised to work from home. All these were done as mitigation measures against the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite all these challenges, the university continued to make tremendous progress across the various faculties. I keep on saying the pandemic had a silver lining because many times we had not taken the online training very seriously. But immediately this came up, we all embarked in training for moving ahead. Through the Division of Academic Affairs, There has been streamlining and delivering of education through harnessing of technology and other tools, vital in enabling progress in learning despite this pandemic. At this point, I want to recognize Professor Kahi for his tireless effort in working with the academic staff to make sure that the online activities continue. I also want to recognize the Director of Postgraduate Studies, who continuously said we can do it, and he continued working with the international students who could not go home because of the pandemic. And she relentlessly continued to do that. Professor Nzula Kitaka, thank you very much. The students have proceeded with oral presentations of proposals, both in the department and faculties, as well as projects, thesis defenses from across the country and the whole world, those who work here. We have had students from Ghana, from South Africa, from Rwanda, from Malawi, that have been defending their thesis online. And all this is to the support of the graduate school and the academic division. Our academic staff have been working around the clock to develop online modules, content, and coupled with virtual graduation, we are living true to our motto. And at this point, I want to recognize Professor Maritim and his team for giving us the lead in educating us on online activities. Mr. Chancellor, sir, the Division of Research has made tireless efforts in enhancing our capacity to attract funding through writing excellent research and development proposals, providing numerous consultancies, supporting the students involved in postgraduate research, and coordinating student attachment programs. As a result of these efforts, the students and staff, through their various faculties, have won a number of scholarships, research funding, fellowships, and consultancies, as I want to highlight right now. I want to congratulate and say thank you to Dr. Miriam Kwitha from Faculty of Agriculture, who won a One Planet Fellowship, which seeks to build vibrant, highly connected, and intergenerational network of African and European scientist leaders. I'm running short of saying the amount she has brought, but very soon we will put it down. Dr. Shadrach Nasongo from Rhodes University, who is an alumni of this university, who won the 2020 Carnegie African Diaspora Fellowship, where African-born scholars participate in educational projects at higher educational projects in Africa. Mr. Stephen Mwangi from the Faculty of Natural Resources won full scholarship from Partnership for Knowledge, financed by Italian Agency for International Cooperation, to study MSc in Geoinformatics Engineering. Dr. David Omondi from the Faculty of Science won 2 postdoctoral fellowships at the Institute of Parasitology and Tropical Veterinary Medicine in Berlin, Germany, among others that I will mention later. I take this opportunity to thank these staff members for their hard work and for carrying the university flag high across the globe. Mr. Chancellor, sir, early this year, the country was faced with the COVID-19 pandemic that affected all phases of human life, and all resources were mobilized to fight it. I want to report to you that Egerton, as a world-class university for the advancement of humanity, was never left behind. Our staff members got involved in one way or the other to contain the pandemic, as I'm going to highlight. Our staff member from the Department of Industrial and Energy Engineering, Dr. George Owino, fabricated and donated to Nakuru Level 5 Hospital a booth for testing samples of the virus that overcomes most of the challenges associated with interaction between the medical personnel and the patients. The Faculty of Science, through the Department of Chemistry, mobilized and started producing hand rubs, sanitizers, and liquid soaps for the benefit of students, staff, and the community. The Faculty of Education, through the Department of Applied Community Studies, also started designing and making face masks for students, staff, and the community. We are not getting out there to buy anything. We have it. A few things, yes, which are difficult. In order to live to our mission of knowledge generation and dissemination, we are preparing to receive about 3,490 first years through online admission. Currently, the students are uploading documents online for registration purposes. We expect online reporting to be on 13th of August, 2020. Thereafter, orientation starts for 2 weeks. The online teaching and learning starts in September. As for continuing students, online teaching and learning is already going on, and academic staff members are already trained on online lecture content on pilot basis. We plan to continue training of our staff members on online exam management through collaboration with Michigan State University, with a Davis College, which is working with the University of Michigan. And once we perfect it, we will subject it to Commission for University Education to see whether we can start using it. As for face-to-face learning and teaching, this depends on availability of a number of facilities. And I outrightly say that we are not ready. However, we are going to show you today how we intend to do it, what we are thinking of if we get the facilities that we are looking for. With the unwavering commitment of our staff and support from our students, we are proud to say that we are on the right track. We are confident that we are on the right track. Despite all these success stories, the university has faced a huge financial challenge as a result of pandemic. I know Professor CS will say we have a big farm, but that farm cannot pay our salaries now, especially the academic staff. Since the beginning of this pandemic, when the academic calendar was interfered with and the university closed prematurely, this had financial implications on the university since all sources of revenue were stopped. This situation has necessitated the university to pay staff 60%. It's a big sacrifice for our staff, despite the challenges they have to go through because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but they are earning 60% of the net, and the ministry is already aware. It is not a secret. Currently, we are preparing to resume learning after complying with the Ministry of Health guidelines. I wish to inform you that we are still facing the challenges of inadequate facility if we are to comply with the guidelines. I make a humble request and appeal to the Ministry of Education for additional support to reduce the above challenges. I humbly request the CS, please consider us. When somebody cries and they come to your door, even if it is very difficult, scold them, but give them the food. Mr. CS, that's what I can request, but I'm going on. As I conclude, I want to remind my graduates that this is not the end of everything, but just the beginning of good things to come. I want to remind them to continue beaming with hopes, desires, and prospects for the future. We have innovatively influenced a student here. I didn't know that I will be a vice chancellor, and I'm here. But you have to face all those challenges without crying. It is my wish that all this will contribute to national and global development. I look forward to your coming back for further studies to explore areas that strengthen your career. Congratulations to all of you. I expect great things from you. Please follow protocols and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Let's give another hand of applause to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Rose Monya. Thank you, Madam Vice Chancellor. May I now invite the Chairman of Council, Dr. Ambassador Luka Hukawario, to give his remarks. Karibu, Daktari.
Our guest of honor, the Honorable Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, Permanent Principal Secretary of Education, Ambassador Simon Abukwesi, Chancellor, Egerton University, Dr. Narendra Raval, chancellors of other universities watching us virtually, chairs of governing councils of other universities watching us virtually, members of governing councils, Egerton University, and others watching us virtually from other universities, Vice Chancellor, Egerton University, Professor Rose Monya, Vice Chancellors of other universities watching us virtually, Deputy Vice Chancellors of Egerton University, present here, Professor Kahi, Professor Kibwage, Professor Bebe, Deputy Vice Chancellors of other universities watching us virtually, members of the Egerton University Senate, heads of campuses, faculty, schools, directorates, departments, all members of the teaching as well as non-teaching staff, members of the Students' Council, all invited guests watching us virtually or otherwise, all continuing students watching us virtually, the Egerton University neighborhood community, ladies and gentlemen. Before I go on, I wanted to comment on the dancer who entertained us here very well from Swaziland. Where is she? She has disappeared. I just wanted to thank her very much for the dance. Swaziland is the old name of the kingdom that she comes from. Now it is the kingdom of Eswatini. I was very much touched because I had the privilege in my working life to be Kenya's High Commissioner to the kingdom of Swaziland. And I've watched these great dances there, including the world-famous reed dance, which is watched worldwide, in which the king has got to select a wife. Anyway, tell her that it was a great dance, and I was very much enthralled. May I start by thanking all those who made this joyous occasion of the 22nd graduation of Egerton University possible. This is a joyous occasion. Let's be happy. Let's relax. A graduation is a celebration. Cabinet Secretary and the Ministry of Education, the Higher Education Loans Board, the Commission for University Education, the graduates themselves, of course, the Chancellor of Egerton, the Vice Chancellor, Management, Senate, Deans and Heads of Departments, all members of staff, teaching, non-teaching, parents, guardians, friends of the university, partners, and all stakeholders. We thank you. I would like to make this statement short. I have liaised with the Vice Chancellor and my Chancellor so that I don't repeat what they are going to say and what has been said by the Vice Chancellor. I would like to address only the graduates, actually. I would like to share my thoughts on 5 related issues today. You can count them on your fingertips of one hand. 1, privilege. 2, responsibility. 3, service. 4, empathy. And 5th, hope. That's all. In our country, where only a tiny fraction of the population ever gets access to university education, you must count yourselves a fortunate and privileged lot. A diploma or a degree is a ticket to entering a higher social strata, an exclusive club of laptop-carrying digital natives, the club of the intelligentsia and of men and women of letters. When I say men and women of letters, they were so me. Society gives you a higher value and a superior position. This privilege extends into giving you higher chances of being employed or self-employed because you are skilled and because you have an informed consciousness and worldview. Privilege is a right or benefit given to some and denied to others, I'm afraid. Privilege is the advantage wealthy and powerful people have over society. It borders on rights, the right to govern, to collect taxes, to give instructions and expect it to be obeyed. Power and the privilege that goes with it is given to you to serve your country. In this sense, privilege is honor, it is respect, and you are held in high esteem. Privilege gives you an opportunity to serve. It was said by the student representative, I was listening. Not many get this opportunity. So you are a chosen few. A position of power and privilege is one of trust. You become a trustworthy person. You enjoy the confidence of the public and you are regarded as a man or woman of integrity, a steward of selfless service. You will be faced with the temptation of using position of power and privilege for personal gain. We see this around us every day. If you give in to this, then trouble sets in. Corruption is beckoning. If you use your position of public trust or privilege for personal gain, there is a conflict of interest. And you are no longer a person of integrity. You are no longer trustworthy. You lose all the aura of honor and respect, public trust, and being a woman or man of letters has no meaning. In fact, it is demeaning. People will ask, how is it that a university graduate has bent so low as to be on the take? You know, to be on the take? Kuchukua kitu chini ya meza. How is it that he or she has accumulated so much wealth a few years after graduation? Is this not living beyond your means or your income? People begin to ask questions, and what happens? You lose. You lose respect. You lose honor. You lose your name. You lose your face. You lose your very identity. The abuse of privilege is the abuse of power and position. As Egertonians, my first message to you is this: respect and uphold your positions of privilege. Don't ever abuse it. My second issue, I counted on the second finger, for your ingestion and digestion is responsibility. Shall I repeat it again? Responsibility. I'm pronouncing it syllable by syllable. Think of holding a coin in your hand. If the side facing you has privilege, which I just talked about, written on it, just turn it on the other side and it reads responsibility. Privilege and responsibility are but two sides of the same coin. That's what I'm saying. A position of privilege is not a free lunch. It comes with responsibility. When you are given responsibility, you are given a task. You take charge. You may get praise if you succeed and blame when you fail. It is a position of trust. You are entrusted with a job to do, a duty to carry out, something to do, usually within a given time frame, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. When you are in a position of responsibility, it is morally and legally incumbent upon you to do certain things. For example, take responsibility of supporting your aging parents. Support your siblings and see them through school and see to their housing, food, warm clothing, and other basic necessities. If you are in a position to do so, you may take responsibility for donating to support the less fortunate in society, the persons with disabilities, PWDs they are called, orphans, and vulnerable children, older citizens. You take your responsibility as a good citizen, as a taxpayer, to support your government and not to try to evade tax obligations, because the development of our country, the provision of essential services, all depend on those taxes. Men and women of letters do not shun responsibility. They take charge. Their presence is felt by the people around them because of the good they do. When things go wrong under your watch, take responsibility. In a certain country that I will not mention here, there are 3 ministries of transport: Ministry of Air, Rail, Road Transport. Mr. CSR, I'm not implying you at all. I'd written this speech long ago. When there is a plane crash in which citizens die, the Minister of Air Transport takes responsibility and resigns. When there is a rail disaster, the same happens, and when there is a bad road accident in which citizens lose their lives, the Minister for Road Transport takes responsibility and resigns. Think about it. In some countries in Southeastern Asia, Southeast Asia, China, I've had the privilege of serving you as your ambassador in China. When certain people take responsibility, it is more severe than resigning. If you read a book by Lee Kuan Yew, former Prime Minister of Singapore, there is a Minister of Housing who was caught up in the net of corruption. And when his name was mentioned, he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, I've lost face. And by the time you read this letter, I've done the honorable thing. And the honorable thing in that context was suicide. So his wife and daughter came to see the Prime Minister. The father had the minister had committed suicide. They told the Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore, that you know what has happened. My daughter and I, the wife said of the minister, my daughter and I have no face to live in Singapore. We are leaving Singapore, never to return. That is how serious corruption is taken in those countries. So, what I'm saying, think about it. The respective ministers of transport did not cause the accident directly, no. But for everything under their docket, the buck stops at their desk. They do the honorable thing and resign. That is taking responsibility. My second message to you in this is this: be responsible. Take responsibility. My third issue, as food for thought, is service to the people. You have had a privileged position in society by getting a university education, most at public or taxpayers' expense. Most, I said, some of your parents, of course, chip in. Education is the most powerful tool for social and economic improvement. It has and will continue to make a difference in your lives. It's incumbent upon you It is your responsibility to give to others what Egerton University has given to you. If you are a teacher, you teach. I was in Marsabit, where I come from, CSR, Chancellor Sir, and I was caught up there for 5 months because of the COVID. I saw some secondary kids on the farm and primary kids, and I told them, come. And I taught lessons every day. Every day. I mean, I'm a teacher, you are pupils, why can't we come together and you learn something? And I taught them for 3-4 months, 5 months. Free of charge, of course. If you are a teacher, teach. If you are a doctor, treat. Professor Magoha is a doctor, is a medical doctor. It's incumbent upon you, it is your responsibility to give to others what sorry, I've read that. If you are a vet, treat and care for livestock and other birds and animals, both wild and domestic. We train vets here. If you have graduated in a branch of agriculture, use your skills to enhance the country's food security. At this juncture, allow me to quote Benjamin Disraeli, one-time Prime Minister of UK. A university should be, quote, a university should be a place of light, of liberty, and of learning. 3 L's. A university should be a place of light, of liberty, and of learning. So my third message to you is, take the light, the liberty, and the learning you got from Egerton in the service of the Kenyan people. It is your duty and responsibility to serve, and to serve selflessly and with distinction. My fourth point is on empathy. Listen carefully, empathy is not sympathy, should not be confused with sympathy. Empathy is putting yourself in the position of others, in their shoes, literally, if you like, and to actually go through their experiences. You join them in their times of sorrow and celebrate with them in their times of joy. That ability to understand a person you serve, in that sense, is called empathy. Let me give you another example that will make the notion of empathy a bit clearer. A researcher in anthropology came to a pastoral community. I come from a pastoral community from a Western country, US, Europe, to do research on culture of a certain people. It was an year-long field research. So the researcher built her own grass-thatched hut. It's a lady, a woman. She built her own hut, resembling those of the village. She was given camels on the loan, cows, goats for milk on the loan, and she was supposed to milk those camels. She has never done that before. Those cows, those goats, and take care of them in terms of vet services, treating them. She lives in a hut and she goes out with the rest of the women for firewood, for water. She carries her jerrycan like others. She lived the life of the members of that community in every sense. She learned their language. With the time, she ate what they ate and drank what they drank. She learned and spoke their language. She sold some of the milk from the livestock loan to her to buy tea and sugar and other supplies from the market like the others do. She milked her livestock herself and took care of them. This researcher, no doubt, has empathy towards members of this community. So, my fourth message to you is this: have empathy for the people you serve. Not sympathy is a much lower level. Empathy is deeper, more profound. My fifth is the last one. If you nurture hope, it is hope. Hope. H-O-P-E. If you nurture hope, you will expect to achieve your ambitions. Hope gives you confidence that you will be employed or be self-employed, that you will get married and raise a family, that you will have a roof over your head as a home of your own. A hopeful person is a positive thinker. If things are bad now, they will get better soon. Don't dwell in the negative. Don't dwell in the bad of now. Dwell in the better of the future. You must enthuse others with hope. In one of Achebe's books, a bit of reading, Things Fall Apart, I think, hot water was poured on cockroaches in the house. Cockroaches. So the baby cockroaches said, "Oh, Mom, We are finished. They are pouring hot water on us. We are finished. Mother Cockroach did not hesitate to give them hope. She said, just be patient, little ones, for whatever is hot will soon turn cold. As an Egertonian, you don't say, I don't know. It should not be in your vocabulary, even if you don't know. What do you do? Is that being dishonest? No. I do not know, but you admit ignorance, but I will find out and get back to you. That is a difference. Instead of I don't know and you walk away, you can find out. What you not with the internet technology, what can't you find out today is all on your fingertips, on your phone. You will find out. Oh, the lady from Eswatini is back, eh? Welcome, welcome. A good dance. A good dance. So I'll find out and get back to you. So my fifth and final message to you today, graduates, wherever you are watching us, is this. Keep the flame of hope burning always and enthuse the people around you with hope. Once the Chancellor confers degrees and diplomas upon you, and the Vice Chancellor dissolves the congregation, you will go. Go and serve the people across the country with honor, dignity, and pride, knowing very well that you lead best through humility, compassion, responsibility, commitment to serve, empathy, and hope in your selfless service to all. All the best for the future, and keep safe. God bless you.
Thank you, Ambassador Dr. Luca Wario, for those good remarks and challenge to our graduates to keep hope alive and be the light, exercise liberty wherever they go. Thank you so much for those remarks. Guests, both on virtual and physically here, we want to take this opportunity to appreciate that today is a special day for us. We have the Cabinet Secretary, Education, and we also have the Principal Secretary, none other than Ambassador Simon Nabukwesi, State Department, Principal Secretary, State Department of University Education and Research, Ministry of Education. May I take this opportunity and pleasure to invite him to give his remarks and invite the Cabinet Secretary. Karibu, Ambassador.
Technology, Professor George Magoha, the Chancellor Egerton University, Dr. Narendra Raval, the Chair of the Council, Ambassador Dr. Luca Huka Wario, Council members of Egerton University, chairpersons of councils of other universities attending virtually, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ross Monya, Deputy Vice Chancellors, the entire leadership of Egerton University present, all invited guests, members of staff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to join the graduates together with their families and friends and the entire Egerton University fraternity in celebrating this 42nd graduation ceremony. I take this opportunity to sincerely congratulate all the graduates on your great accomplishment in your various academic programs. I recognize that it is your hard work, your commitment, resilience, discipline that led to you accomplishing your studies to graduate today. And this therefore marks the beginning of a journey to greatness if you remain organized, focused, and planful. I want to encourage you to put your skills, the knowledge and experience gathered here to very good use. I'm aware that this is a very unique graduation ceremony to be conducted here in Egerton University and other universities because of the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. The ministry is aware of the effects of the challenges. These challenges brought by the pandemic become an opportunity for you to contribute significantly, not just to self-development, but to the societal, national, and global development. As you mark a new chapter in your life, I take this opportunity to remind you of your national and moral duty to uphold the highest levels of ethics, integrity, and patriotism, so that you remain men and women of honor, guided by humility and discipline, despite the ever fast-paced world that is rapidly yielding innovations and challenges alike. These attributes of our nation will help us to pursue knowledge in this fast-paced environment, guided by the highest standards of ethics and professionalism. Majority of our population are the youth, and we should take advantage of the youth bulge so that we speed the development momentum of our country. A bigger percentage are unemployed and others are dependents. Recently, the Ministry of Education directed universities to launch a career guidance office for each university. This will go a long way in preparing the students for their job market after graduation. If well utilized, we can reap dividends for their resilience and innovation. I urge universities to prepare the youth well for the world of work, so that they distinguish themselves with innovation, with focus, with improvement, and they keep adding value to what they find in existence. This can be made possible through offering quality and relevant university education that make it possible for formal employment of our youth, as well as innovation and self-employment of graduates. I want to encourage that graduates focus on assisting the government to realize the Big Four agenda, the Kenya Vision 2030, and to go way forward to make an impact, not only in this country, but in Africa. If you look at the African Union Vision 2063, it needs Africans who can assist to drive that agenda. And world over, young people are doing a lot of things, and I want to encourage you. We saw Isigi, who is in Washington, D.C., a Kenyan, who is very proudly making a lot of progress that is impacting on the American economy. I'm glad to note that Egerton University has, over the years, continued to produce graduates who are pushing forward the national development agenda. This should be supported by increased focus on research and innovation that will translate to conference papers, publications in reputable journals, and general innovation. I urge the university to take advantage of the government support in innovation and research by engaging the Ministry of Education through the National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation, NACOSTI, National Research Fund, and the Kenya Innovation Agency to do a lot more in the area of research and innovation. World over, higher education is experiencing changes. Universities must adapt to changes to remain relevant and gain competitive advantage. This watershed situation being witnessed in higher education can act as a springboard where captains of these institutions can craft strategies aimed at achieving financial stability. And that is what the Cabinet Secretary has been talking about, utilizing the resources available and utilizing the human resource available in the area of research to mobilize extra resources to make the university sustainable and progressive. As a grand strategy, universities need to be able to diversify investment to increase revenue. Universities need to partner with the industry research-based institutions and international bodies. And by helping these bodies achieve their mandate, universities can benefit from research funding through partnerships with governments and international bodies. The universities may also work with both counties and at national level in solving problems facing citizens, commercializing research output, and developing winning financing strategies that can bring many benefits to these institutions. As I draw towards the conclusion, let me thank the Chancellor, the University Council, led by Ambassador Dr. Wario, and the University Management Board, the Senate, the staff, the parents, guardians, and students for your tireless efforts culminating into this auspicious ceremony. I know it has not been easy on your part organizing this and the pressure that comes with the new normal in planning for the virtual graduation. But I congratulate you for being among the first ones to do this so that we don't stop because there is COVID-19. Life must continue. Finally, to the graduates, I pray that your dreams will take you to the right places of service, and may God open to you every window of opportunity to make progress in this world. I want to stress the need for the graduates to follow their dreams without giving up, without being discouraged until they achieve them. I wish all graduates success in all their endeavors, and please stay safe. This nation needs safe young people who are healthy, who are focused, and who are adding value to the population. An educated population is a population that assists the nation to achieve its economic progress. And I want to encourage you always to evaluate yourself. Self-evaluation is very important so that you keep on track. With those remarks, it's now my privilege and honor to invite the Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, to make his remarks. Welcome, sir.
Good, and all the time. You are not answering properly, but it's such a nice day, especially in the COVID situation, where we should no longer take for granted that we shall be awake or that we shall even be alive in the next hour. And we want to thank God for His grace and mercies. And this is not something that we should take for granted. Mr. Chancellor, Sir Dr. Narendra Raval, who also happens to be my good friend, Chairman of Council, Dr. Hukawario, was more philosophical this morning. He's also my good friend. We went to China 15 years ago. Members of the Egerton University Council, chairpersons of councils of other universities, Professor Ongubo Kibwage, all my colleagues who are men of letters here and virtually. Invited guests, other members of staff, most importantly, the graduates, parents, guardians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I had intended to start with answering the Vice Chancellor, but I think I will come to that a little bit later. And I want to say that I'm indeed extremely delighted to be here this morning representing the government of the Republic of Kenya and moving forward what His Excellency the President wants us to do, because life must go on. And I want to give credit to Egerton University to be the second public university to dare to graduate virtually. It can be done. The first one was by an excellent Vice Chancellor, the name of Ndirangu Kioni, who is the head of Dedan Kimathi University of Science and Technology. As far as public universities are concerned, it is our view that a lot more can be done, and a lot more is being done. And I want to thank them for changing, because indeed change is the only thing that is constant in this world. If we are not prepared to change, then we must be prepared to die. I have practiced surgery for 42 years, and I have never seen anything like COVID-19. So nobody expected it, and I want to encourage the universities that they did the right thing by picking up online training, a sizable number of them. I think over 70% are having robust online training. And I'm also happy with Professor Mwanya for telling us the truth, that before the COVID era, she was among the ones who are not very serious with online learning. I think that is the new normal, and we must and we shall embrace it. Talking as a physician, I want to predict that COVID will only be contained, and it's probably here to stay for a very long time. And that since it came abruptly, we must and shall find a way to exist. I am also aware that in many universities, both public and private, online learning has been going on. I am also aware that some students have had issues with accessing the online learning, and the government is looking into ways and means of ensuring that going forward, those students who require their help in order to finish and do exams, something is going to be done about it. But the important thing is that I think for the university sector in this country, His Excellency the President gave me the first directive when I was appointed, that I should come and reform the universities. And I want to say that it is one of the most difficult challenges, because professors are very difficult people to deal with, me being one of them. And they don't see why one should be telling them anything, because they think they know everything. But from my own lifestyle, I want to dare say that unless these professors identify their problems, then there will be a problem. We shall continue to have problems within the universities. That includes Egerton. Compared to other vice-chancellors from other universities who said they were ready, even though they had been inspected, and we knew that they were not ready. We had also said that other tertiary institutions perhaps could reopen in September. But it's only a few days ago that we had to call the education stakeholders once again, and having looked at what we discovered on the ground, we are of the opinion that the lives of our young children are far more important than the degrees they are going to get. And as a result, because COVID-19, you have seen the trajectory. It is on the increasing trajectory. Yesterday, we had over 788 from only a sample of about 5,000, which means, I don't know how many people are behind me here, but if they are up to 100, then 10 of them must have COVID. That is actually the reality. So we are not, the government led by His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is not going to risk bringing thousands of children to university, because you don't know which ones are going to die. Are we together here? So the universities will most likely open only in January next year. And so the ones that shall survive will include Egerton, which has already graduated. And I was asking the Vice Chancellor this morning that you say you are graduating Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, which I have taught for all these years. How did you examine them? Because we are yet to say how they should be examined. And she told me, no, these ones were examined just before the problem. Because the new normal would require that both the university and government, ministries of health and education, agree that every student going to examine a patient before examination must wear full PPEs together. So it will be for a cost, but we need them. We need the doctors also to graduate going forward so that they can join the other doctors to fight the pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, in terms of our financial sustainability of public universities, it's one of the bottlenecks that I have towards reorganizing the university or to be advised on how to run the universities. Universities, and they must be run on an ongoing basis. So before you create another position, for example, a vice chancellor and council decide they want to create 2 other positions at the top. Let us say there are 2 deputy vice chancellors. You have actually just created not 2 positions, but maybe another 20. And an expenditure line of vehicles, offices, which may not be necessary. So this has to stop, because before this is done, we must consult the Treasury and say, is this viable? Is there another sustainable way? I am talking like this because I'm a professor, and I also led a university for 10 good years, the most difficult one at that time. So you can't say that when you decide that you are increasing people without thinking, then you come and tell us you can't pay salaries. It is not going to happen. Who has told you it will happen? Can we start being serious? For example, is it time now for universities in this country to identify what is relevant to them? Obviously, teaching and research are some of the most important things in the university. So you ask yourself, is my university big enough for me to separate teaching and research? If you are prepared to say research is the driver, then you can say, okay, let us have a senior officer in charge of research at a deputy vice chancellor's level. And that person drives, and you get performance from the person according to the papers we are churning out and the money and patents that you are bringing to the university. You can't be a DVC research without a patent at all for 10 years. Maybe the research output is at -2. The office is redundant. If it is like that, you would rather put the 2 offices of academic and research together. And these are not decisions we have to make for you. You are the ones to make it yourselves in order to survive. Because if you have, say, 6 DVCs, then it means you have 6 big cars, 6 extra drivers, 6 extra big offices, 6 extra cleaners. Who is stupid? Is it you or us? And then you say, we can't pay. I'm using that as an example. But you really have to right-size your staff, because government cannot abandon you, but government is like God. It will help those who help themselves. If you sit and say, well, we are coming. For example, ask yourself, even in my office, if I have 3 secretaries, I should ask myself, do I need 3 secretaries or 2? If I have mid-level staff, the chairman of departments, some departments, can they share secretaries? Because there's not enough work for everybody. That is your job. It's not mine. So come to me when you have already said, but you say, no, we are professors and we are independent, but we can't pay salaries. Who has told you? Do you get the point? Yeah, I think that is what, and it is not just you, it's all the universities have to do it. All the universities have to do it. If I were you, I would not touch the academic staff. Because who defines the university? It is the academic staff who define the university. And in the international arena, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm speaking very openly, 70% of your staff should be academic staff. 30% should be non-academic staff. There are things which you can, I don't know the ratio you have here, but these are things you can do with your council under the guidance of the chancellor if you are listening to him, because he's one of the industrialists. If you want to know how to do business, I am not even qualified to tell you, he should tell you. Do you get the point? So, I think I've answered you. Going generally, I wanted to say that all universities cannot be the same. We have 78 of them. The onus is on each university to identify the area of strength. The area of strength. And I was told when you are presenting yours that your area of strength is agriculture, agriculture, agriculture. Then followed by technology and environment. Let us just look at agriculture. Did you have breakfast this morning? I also did. So what the hell are you telling me that you can't survive? You are the one teaching agricultural extension people out there. You have the land. Do you want to go to Israel to look for people to come and do it for you? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have very sympathetic words, because everybody, and I'm not just addressing this university, can you identify your area of strength? Identify your area of strength and concentrate there and leverage on what you have. Because you have the best faculties, you have the environment. Rain is also not very unfortunate. I think even if you're using the rain-fed agriculture, but right now, you should be teaching people how to use irrigation agriculture. So you should be supplying this big town that is near here. But instead I see the Wananchi only. I don't see any produce from Egerton. So what is it that you want us to take pride of? Because this is our jewel for agriculture, this one. So I'm afraid I'm not. We are not on the same trajectory. Do you get the point? I will give even the senior people, you either perform or the way is there. And Professor Kiboy can tell you, it worked at the University of Nairobi. Why not here? Now, in terms of research, as I will soon turn to the graduates. In terms of research, you can argue that there are many agricultural institutions in Kenya. Yes, there are. But which one, apart maybe from Nairobi, has the staff complement that you have? Which one? Select some of your faculty. Spend money, get the chancellor's permission and the chair's permission. Send money to train them on how to write proposals. I saw a good example there, but that's just one. If it was measurable, we would be seeing it in the university. You get the point? You may have 10 of them like that. You don't need to have 10 of them. You need to have 100 of them. So that your bottom line in terms of funding from agriculture, and there I want to differ with my brother Nabukwesi, our good government of His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who is doing very well, has some money for research in those two institutions. But in the world today, the basket of research money is outside there. It's in the virtual space outside there. Just train your people to compete for the money. And the DVC you snatched from us, Professor Kibwage here, by the time he was coming here, he had close to 5 billion shillings in research funds from one college. Are you people getting me? So from a budget of about 20 billion at that time, 25% of it came from research. And it is because we used to train people. And I can remember there is a doctor who could attract even 900 million shillings. So if you only focus at NRF, they may give you 10 million. What is 10 million shillings? Or 20 if you are lucky, or even 50. That's where Egerton has to go. Because Egerton cannot afford to falter. Some of the new universities will never have even 5% of the land you have. They will never have even 20% of the facilities that you already have. Now to my graduates. You are lucky that you attended one of the best universities in this country. Best in terms of infrastructure. I visited over 200 universities when I was Vice Chancellor, and I want to assure you, whether it be it in America, in Europe, in Asia, in India, this university blends into all of them. It looks like just one of them. Are we together? So, as far as having the facilities and the skillment, you had one of the very best, and you could not have expected anything better. But then we have a small thing called Kenyan culture. And this our Kenyan culture is a very interesting one. Our culture, you are taught, for example, if you have done BSc Agriculture here, you graduate here today, and for 5 years, or even 10, you have no job because you are waiting to get a blue-collar job. If you are doing so, would it be right to say you are not very intelligent? So I hope you have been unskilled here holistically. Because for me, in order to survive, and this is the story of my life, I'm a surgeon, yes. But if there is no job for me as a surgeon, and there's one for cleaning toilets, I shall clean it proudly, as long as I have money to take to my family. And from the infrastructure that I have seen, I do not see why somebody goes to his father's home, the father has 20 acres, and he sits just saying, well, you see, I've written 1,000 applications. You must be a big fool. Applications for what? You have all the ideas. Maybe you are living near a river somewhere, and you cannot produce and employ other people. What government wants is to produce people, young people, that can produce employment for themselves and also employ others, especially in the field like agriculture. So I want to charge you to move in that direction. The second thing has already been said, but I want to reemphasize that in this country, I'm old enough to tell you that things have changed and things have shifted. And we old people are guilty because we have taught you bad things and bad manners. I was taught to appreciate what I have and to be satisfied with it. But what we have taught you now is to put all the premium in your life on money. It doesn't matter how you have gotten the money. As long as you are richer, then you are more important than the other person. I am charging you, ladies and gentlemen, to be very proud. If you have only one pair of shoes, or you have no pair of shoes at all, you are having sandals. That is yours. And if you believe in God, you will get what you want. That one of another person, hiyo ni yake. Hata kama ameua, even if he has killed somebody to get, that is his. Don't bother about it. Be satisfied with what you have. How much do we need to be alive? You need a meal of ugali and mrenda and water. And you'll be very healthy, especially if the mrenda is very fresh. It has a lot of health values. That's why you see Luyas and Jaluos are a little bit bigger. Do you see the point? You don't need to be eating chicken and meat and everything all these days. So you are the ones to change this country. Do not see people doing things and you cheer them. Because now the heroes, most of the heroes are crooks and thieves, and we know it. So don't aspire to be like somebody. It has taken me, for example, close to 40 years, 41 years, 42 years of working life. So I have amassed some property somewhere. And you can see how it was built. Don't try to get it in 2 years. If you are a doctor, you are going to kill people. Or you are going to allow people to die because you can't treat them unless they pay you. So life values are more important. And the thing is called integrity. And if you see somebody who is a thief, even if he's a member of your family, if it's a member of your family, even if it is your relative, call the person and say, Daddy, this one, I wouldn't like this. This one, Gary, umenipa. I know you only earn 10,000 shillings. Where did you get the money to buy the car? Oh, Daddy, you are the best dad in the world. The moment you do that, you are also corrupt and you are finished, because in these our jobs, there are temptations everywhere. So take pride in what you do. Please give yourselves targets in your life. Life must continue. Give yourself targets, specific targets in your lives. Give yourselves higher targets so that even if you don't get to the top, you will still not have earned zero. This is important because it is only what gets measured that gets done. And this is so important for you. Respect human life. And everything shall fall into place. I want to conclude, Mr. Chancellor Sir, by saying that we live in the best country in the world. And I say so without pride, without any fear of contradiction. I have been to the US, I've been to many countries in Europe, I've been to Canada, I've been to China and everywhere. And I keep asking myself, why would Kenyans want to go and clean toilets in Dubai? And yet the same toilets are not cleaned here and they can be paid for it. And they suffer, and I'm afraid I use Dubai, but anywhere else, you find somebody is driving a taxi and suffering somewhere. He could do the same here and get better returns. So the mindset is so important, so that those of you who have listened to me, you should be very, very proud. If whatever you have is a bicycle, be proud of it. If somebody is laughing at you, you're niyake. I used to have somebody close to me, and I used to teach him, if he wants the third pair of shoes, because somebody has bought another extra 3 pairs for his son, I'll tell him, no, I want you to be the one that they will follow. So go and tell that person to throw away his 3 pairs so that he can be like you. Because I can't afford 3 pairs. Of course, I could afford 3 pairs, but I wanted my son to know that having 5 pairs of shoes does not mean anything. Already, this one is driving a car. I said, no, you can't drive a car now. You're only 16. But that one is driving. No, that is somebody's son who is irresponsible. I take him to the driver's license place, and they look at him and say, but this boy is underage. I say, yes, tell him. Do you see the point? So this is why you should be very, very proud. And I respect all of you. In my life now, as I serve you and the others who are still here, I am more attracted to those who are less opportune and to the children in the slums and the poorer people than all the others. Because life is the same. Mr. Chancellor, sir, now as I conclude fully, I do hope and I wish you all the very best from the bottom of my heart, and that if you believe in God, and when you believe in God, this is my last charge to you, it will be a difficult one. You have to believe in God completely. Matthew 6:24. Our God is very jealous. You can't believe in him and then you believe in something else. If you believe in him completely, he shall give you what you want. It may not be when you want it, but he shall definitely give you what you want. In conclusion, Mr. Chancellor, University Council, the management, board, senate, staff, parents, guardians, and my dearest graduates, I want to thank you for your tireless efforts, especially the parents and the guardians, for you to have given birth to the children and nurtured them until they graduate. I think it's a big milestone. I know that if we did not have COVID, all of you would have been here, and the place would have been full of life and celebration. Those celebrations can be done in a small manner in your local areas, remembering the COVID regulation. Nobody says you should not have your family and buy whatever you want to buy and take it inside. Where don't do it outside where you may attract the police or any other person. I pray that your dreams will take you to the right places, but in addition to that prayer, your destiny is in your own hands. Make your own choices. Be the one to be emulated by others. Don't emulate others. Be the one to be emulated by others. And may God open to you every window and opportunity through his grace and mercy. I wish all graduates success and all endeavors. Thank you very much.
Sorry for the technical hitch. A big round of applause for the Cabinet Secretary. He gave us very powerful points that we need to remember. Thank you, Professor, for those words of encouragement and advice to the graduates as well. Be people of integrity, values for life. Be proud of what you have. And above all, believe in God completely. Very powerful. Thank you so much. May I take this opportunity now to invite our Chancellor, Dr. Narendra Raval Guru, to give his remarks. Karibu, Mr. Chancellor, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Be seated. Thank you. Thank you. The Cabinet Secretary, Honorable C.S. Magoha, the Principal Secretary of Education, Ambassador Simon, Chancellor of other university presents, Chairman of Egerton University Council, Council Member of Egerton University, Chairperson of Council of the other universities, Vice Chancellor Egerton University, Deputy Vice Chancellors Egerton University, Vice Chancellor of other university, all invited guests, members of staff, graduates, parents, and guardians, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure and the privilege for this presiding the 42nd graduation ceremony to take this opportunity and thank graduates for this achievement, dedication, hard work, and the perseverance that has accumulated into this graduation ceremony. I know you have made a mark for yourself. As a university, we join you in this celebrating your achievement. On this day, it is my prayer that you shall put your knowledge at the service of the humanity that will help yourself to contribute this country and the world at large. Allow me also to thank you and take this opportunity to thank the University Council, University management, staff, students, for the university community for their tireless effort accumulating this occasion. Well done, and continue doing this good work for the growth of the economic development of our motherland, Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, as you well aware that COVID-19 pandemic has ravaged the whole world and the country, Kenya has not been spared either. The pandemic has threatened all faces of the lives. There is an economic meltdown. Businesses are closed, shops, jobs has been lost. All the households have been affected in one way or the other ways. The infection curve has recently stiffened, and young Kenyans are getting infected rapidly due to the socializing regardless of the protection. I urge all the graduates and the university students to keep healthy, practicing the healthy habits for the securing themselves from this pandemic. Do walk, have healthy eating, have healthy habits so that you can be preventing from this pandemic. Keep yourself busy. Young mind occupied by being helpful to the parents. Graduates should be working with their parents or with the loved ones to help them in their this economical situation, because of more than 1 million people have lost the job in this time. Our parents don't have the jobs, they don't have the income, and it is your duty to help them at home. Help them in the shamba. As the CS Magoha said, that no job is small. Whether you are working in the shamba or working in the factory or as a doctor in the hospital, as far as we are concerned, the job is job. Should not be shame of your job, because job is everything for you. If you don't have the food, somebody may not come and give you the food. It is your duty to make sure that you work, whatever the job, whatever the work you can get. The graduates and the students do not resolve get involving the substance and the criminal activities, because idle mind is the devil's workshop. When we are sitting at home, we should be creative. We should be doing something which can give back to the society and to yourself. As CS said, to become big, you have to start from small. I must admit and confess myself that I was washing the clothes for the others. I was washing the vyombo for others. And I was proud to do that because I learned a lot. You got to become, if you want to become a rich, you must know what is the life of a poor. You must start from the poverty, become a rich. Richness is not in the bank. Actually, richness is in the heart. What you can give back to the society, what you can give back to your family. If you become suddenly rich, you may be not able to give back to the society. To become a rich is not because of you are educated. Education is the knowledge. Education is a light in the darkness. But suddenly, if you become a rich and if you become a don't care, that richness is poverty. Many people are rich. Somebody, I have a small example, somebody was having a diamond which was eaten by a rat. And he gave the contract to a person that please come to my house, kill the rat which has eaten my diamond. That person took the contract, he went home, 1,000 rats came out. One rat was on the corner, but about 1,000 rats were there. He didn't know which rat has got in the stomach the diamond. But immediately he killed the one which was on a side, which was not mingling with the rest. The contract, who gave the contract, asked him, how did you know that this rat has got the diamond and not this other 1,000? He answered that the idiot becomes the overnight rich, does not want to mingle with the rest of the people. So we don't want to become that kind of idiot. We want to be a one Kenyan. We want to be part of Kenyan. We want to be part of poverty. We want to be part of richness. The government will not watch or police everywhere to protect you. This pandemic is not a usual practice for Kenya or for the world. This is something new which we have experienced. Our hundreds of years in the past may not have experienced such pandemic, which is such a big disease that we don't know. It is actually a devil. Third world country we are living in the Kenya, and we should know that how to come out of this is only ourselves and not by the police protecting us or the government giving us the money. Money cannot save this pandemic. It is ourselves will be able to save it. Yourself will be able to save it. While you are at home, our doctors and nurses are working, which is same Kenyan, which is you are sitting at home. Tomorrow you will be graduated today as a doctor here. You will be working in the hospitals. They are saving the country. They are working tirelessly. We should try and see how we can help them and reduce their burdens. They have lost many doctors have lost their life because of me and you, because of our foolishness. If you see on the Boda, 4 people are sitting and none of them is wearing mask. Where is the social distance? It is very difficult to, only we understand is with the gun or the police. They come and catch you, then we understand that, oh, we have to have a social distance. We have the mask because the police don't catch us, not because of COVID doesn't catch us. It is a shame for our education if we behave like this. Education is for the knowledge. We should be educating our children, our fellow, that we have to make sure that we take such step which should not give harm to others. I repeatedly say, we will come out of this pandemic. It is not going to stay with us forever. But it is my effort and your effort. Our effort will be able to come out of it. It is not going to be a magical thing that we will come out of this pandemic. We have to help. Our economy is suffering. I am an industrialist. I am employing 6,500 Kenyans. I have not reduced anybody, but if this pandemic goes on like this and nobody does any development, your industry is closed, what we will do? We will have to send them home. Then what will happen? We are increasing the problem. Let us wake up and let's see how we can help our country and ourselves. Like many countries have, I must say, Uganda have really controlled very well. Why? Because people are behaving, and I am sure we will behave and we will be able to know, because this COVID is not a joke. If it comes, it will kill you, and it will kill me if we are not careful. As a university, we stand in the solidarity with the health workers who have lost their life, and we pray to God to support their family and give them the strength to survive, who died for us. I said some time ago on my video clips that somebody says why the temples, mosque, and the churches are closed. I am being a priest, I was thinking, why? Because God is working in the hospital to help and save the life of our Kenyans from this COVID-19 pandemic. The doctors and the health workers are in the picture, in the name of God working. They are working on behalf of the God to save us, and who saves the life is the God. We have to support them, and we will support them by following all the stipulated guidance is given to us by the government and by the World Health Organization. I appeal each and everyone to lend a hand to each other, to and also to donate. You cannot donate if you don't have the money. No need to donate the money. Donate the food to the next door person. Try and help him. How he can be, you can feed him so that he doesn't sleep hungry today. This is our duty today. Kenya needs us today, doesn't need when everything is normal. Today it is abnormal. I urge you to live the university motto of the transforming lives through quality education by creating the world where there will be no unemployment, no poverty, no extremism. Each day the world would be better, safer, and healthier for the previous day. Ladies and gentlemen, you are graduating from the university which has got the great history. It is founded in 1939 by Lord Morrison Egerton. This university has given many leaders in politics, in finance, in business, and in professionalism. Many governors and the cabinet secretary is produced by this great university. I'm sure one day you will be the future leader of this country, or the businessmen or the ladies of this great university. I take this opportunity to thank the donors partner of national government, county government, World Bank, MasterCard foundations, USAID, and the European Union, Chinese government, and many more who have contributed and supported effort of this university. I thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I urge to request to all of you, keep walking because of the journey is just started today. Today, over 1,000 students are graduating. I take this opportunity to inform you that remove the failure from your dictionary. You will be the ambassador of this great university and our motherland of Kenya. Remember to stay safe because we need you for tomorrow. I once again congratulate you, graduates, and wish you all the best for your future endeavors. I wish you all to look for the job. As I said, this pandemic is not going to stay forever. One day it will go, and we all will be very busy again, and our life will be normal. All of you also will be looking for a life partner and married soon also, husband and wife. I wish you all also, I wish you that you get a good wife and a good husband, but you marry when you start earning. Don't marry before that, otherwise you will inviting the problems. One thing I have learned that when you marry, a man tells to the girl's parents, Mom and Dad, please don't worry, I will look after your daughter. I will keep her happy for the lifetime, and she will be comfortable with me. Have you heard ever telling your wife to your parents the same? It will never, because ladies never lies. Thank you very much. I wish you all graduates all the best, and you all are going to be successful in your life. God bless you and keeps you happy all the life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor, sir, for those remarks to our graduates. Don't be that rat with a diamond in its belly. And may I also take this opportunity to recognize our Muslim brothers and sisters, Eid al-Adha. As you celebrate, enjoy the holiday. Although we are here today, but we know that you are celebrating Eid al-Adha today, and we wish you all the best. May I recognize Professor Priska Twitek, who is logged on, and we can see them on the wall. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic and Student Affairs, Muranga University. May I also recognize Professor Isaac Kosgei, the Vice Chancellor, Moi University, logged on and with us. Professor Simiu Baraza, Acting Vice Chancellor, Taita Taveta University, logged on, and they have been with us since morning. Thank you so much. And many others, guests on the virtual platform, on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We really appreciate. Just to recognize a few from Facebook, since morning, we have, by 11 o'clock, we had 204 people on Zoom platform, 54 people watching on Facebook, and 246 people on YouTube. And that was 11 o'clock. So there are definitely much more logged on. And we really appreciate at Felix on Twitter saying, congratulations to the 2020 class. Nyaga Kamau, congratulations to the graduates. Abel on Facebook saying congratulations to all graduates, and he is proud of you. Thank you so much for those. May I take this opportunity to now invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Professor Alexander Kahi, to introduce the Excellence Awards. Professor Kahi, please.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now call upon the directors of the boards of undergraduate and postgraduate studies, respectively, to present the graduates who appeared in the Vice Chancellor's list of honor for outstanding academic performance.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following one graduate, whom I have the honor to present to you, excelled in her undergraduate program and has appeared in the Vice Chancellor's list of honor. The Academic Excellence Award is given to graduates who score a cumulative weighted average of 71% and above in their studies. In addition, the graduate must have obtained grade B and above in all courses in the program. The name of the graduate is displayed on the screen together with her photo. Kihongi Assumpta Nyambura, Program of Study, Bachelor of Commerce from the Faculty of Commerce. She has a cumulative weighted average of 74%. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in 2018-2019 academic year, the following two graduates whom I have the honor to present to you excelled in their postgraduate programs and appeared in the Vice Chancellor's list of honor. The Academic Excellence Awards are given to postgraduate students who excel in their studies by scoring accumulated weighted average of 73 and above in their first year coursework and obtain grade B and above for master's students and only grade A in all courses taken in programs with coursework for PhD students. In addition, the master's student must submit thesis or project for examination within a maximum of 28 months and publish at least one paper in a peer-reviewed journal. Similarly, the PhD students must submit thesis for examination within a maximum of 40 months and publish at least 2 papers in peer-reviewed journals. The names of the graduates are displayed on the screen with their photos. Master of Science in Community Studies and Extension, Faculty of Education and Community Studies, Lamech Amweine. He obtained accumulated weighted average of 76% and scored grade A in all the courses he undertook. He published one paper and completed his studies in exactly 26 months. Doctor of Philosophy in Horticulture in the Faculty of Agriculture, Deremana Asinopol. He obtained accumulated weighted average of 81%, scored S in all the courses taken, published 5 papers, 3 more than 2, and completed his studies in 36 months.
Thank you for those excellent awards. May I now invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor to administer the alma mater pledge. Professor Alexander Kahi.
Graduates, wherever you are, I request you to turn to page Roman 25 in the e-graduation booklet. On that page, you will find the alma mater pledge. When taking the pledge, graduates, replace the dotted lines with the official name. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now call upon the graduates to take the alma mater pledge. Graduates, let us now take the pledge together.
Having successfully completed my program of study, I, Egerton, solemnly commit to be guided by my institutional core values and be a passionate and lifelong ambassador of Egerton University as my alma mater. So help me God.
Thank you, Professor Alexander Kahi, for the alma mater pledge. And now may I recognize Professor Mabel Mayaka, Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Multimedia University. She's logged on. Karibu. Remember, Wi-Fi is available and free, very strong around here. Just turn on your Wi-Fi and you'll follow the proceedings without any hitches. Thank you. May I now take this opportunity to welcome Professor Alexander Kahi again to invite the deans to proceed with the...
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now call upon the deans of faculties to present their graduates for the award of diplomas and conferment of degrees of Egerton University in the following order: Dean, Faculty of Agriculture; Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences; Dean, Faculty of Commerce; Dean, Faculty of Education and Community Studies; Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology; Dean, Faculty of Environment and Resources Development; Dean, Faculty of Health Science; Dean, Faculty of Science; Dean, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine and Surgery; Director, Institute of Women, Gender and Development Studies; Director, School of Distance Learning.
2018-2019 academic year, the
following 4 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfy the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Agriculture and the Senate for the conferment of the respective Doctor of Philosophy degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos, title of theses, and names of supervisors. Doctor of Philosophy in Agronomy, Andrea Minaminardio, title of thesis, Residue and Closing Response of Nitrogen, Phosphorus, and Potential Fertilizer Rates in Rwanda. Supervisors, Professor Rhoda Binechi, Dr. Robert Gesimba, Dr. Galome Nyagatare, Doctor of Philosophy in Agronomy, Masinde Emily Atieno, title of thesis, Evaluation of cassava germplasm for resistance to cassava streak diseases and virus elimination using in vitro techniques. Supervisors, Professor Joshua Ogendo, Professor Richard Mulwa, Dr. Maruthi Goda. Doctor of Philosophy in Horticulture, Asina Paul Nderenyimana. Title of thesis, Evaluation of entomopathogens and plant extracts as options for integrated pest management of Tuta absoluta meric for enhanced tomato productivity in Rwanda. Supervisors, Dr. Samuel Nyalala, Dr. Patrick Murerwa, Dr. Sevena Katasiova, Doctor of Philosophy in Soil Science, Fashaho Alois. Title of thesis, Evaluation of soil properties and response to maize to bioslurry and mineral fertilizers in terrace acrisols and rixifols of Rwanda. Supervisors, Professor Samuel Mwanga, Dr. Joyce Ndemo, Professor George Ndegwa. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective doctor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 1 candidate whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Senate for the conferment of the Doctor of Philosophy in Economics degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with his photo, title of the thesis, and name of the supervisors. Doctor of Philosophy in Economics, Naftali Kizore Mose. Title of the thesis, Analysis of County Government Expenditure and County Economic Growth in Kenya. Supervisors, Professor Lawrence Kibet, Dr. Simon Kiprop. The graduate is asked to await the conferment of the doctorate degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 1 candidate whom I have the honor to present to you certified the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Commerce and the Senate for the conferment of the Doctor of Philosophy in Business and Management degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with our photo, title of thesis, and the names of supervisors. Doctor of Philosophy in Business and Management, Inyangara Josephine Chepkorir. Title of thesis, Influence of Selected Career Management Practices on Job Satisfaction, the mitigation effect of job security among administrative staff in chartered private public universities, Kenya. Supervisors, Professor Fred Gerardo, Dr. Simon Ekipchumba. The graduate is asked to await the conferment of the doctorate degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following one candidate whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfy the Board of Examiners in the Faculty of Education and Community Studies and the Senate for the conferment of the Doctor of Philosophy degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with his photo, title of thesis, and names of supervisors. Doctor of Philosophy in Science Education, Mwangi Simon Waroi. Title of thesis, Effects of the Use of Computer and Method Loci Teaching Technique on Secondary School Students' Achievement and Misconceptions in Mathematics within Kitui County, Kenya. Supervisors, Professor B.N. Githua and Professor J.M. Changewo. Graduate is asked to await the conferment of the doctorate degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following two candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Science and the Senate for the conferment of the Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry degree of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos, titles of thesis, and names of supervisors. Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, Mayaka Regina Kemunto. Title of thesis, Chemical Characterization and Antimicrobial Activity of Compounds from some selected medicinal Kenyan Geoderma and Traumates species. Supervisors, Professor Josiah O. Omolo, the late Professor Peter K. Cheplogoi, Mosonik Bolnes Chelangat. Title of thesis, Molecular Products, Thermal Emissions and Radical Kinetics from the Thermal Degradation of Croton Megalocarpus, Biodiesel and Binary Transport Fuels. Supervisors, Dr. Joshua Kibet, Professor Mwaniki S. Gari. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective doctorate degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following one candidate whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Institute of Women, Gender and Development Studies and the Senate for the conferment of the Doctor of Philosophy in Women, Gender and Development Studies degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with his photo, title of thesis, and names of supervisors. Doctor of Philosophy in Gender, Women and Development Studies, Nduati Samuel Kiungwini. Title of thesis, Transforming Masculinities in the Context of Incidences of Modern Family Crisis, a case of selected faith-based organizations in Bahati Sub-County, Nakuru County, Kenya. Supervisors, Dr. Damaris S. Parsitau, Professor Father Stephen Mbugwa, Dr. Ruth Aura. The graduate is asked to await the conferment of the doctorate degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I kindly request you to confer to the graduates the respective Doctor of Philosophy degrees.
By my authority and that of the entire university with the power to read and do all that appertains to this degree.
sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 14 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Agriculture and the Senate for the conferment of the following master degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos. Master of Science in Food Science, Lelgut Daisy Chair Lenoy, Sichangi Barasa Moses, Master of Science in Livestock Production Systems, Agwene Ball Lewis Regan, Ekal Morris Amaruya, Ngaitereho Albert Francis, Master of Science in Animal Nutrition, Isabel Beatrice, Sakwa Boniface Naboko, Master of Science in Animal Breeding and Genetics, Baraza Caleb Sakwa, Master of Science in Agricultural and Applied Economics, Baya Wallace Toya, Makwani John Walker Toyua, Seure Josephine. Master of Science in Animal Breeding and Genomics, Chesang Sumukwa. Master of Science in Agricultural Economics, Lothomia Cosmas Kweyu. Master of Science in Agri-Enterprise Development, Mutinda Ritempta Mbula. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of respective master degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 8 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfy the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Senate for the conferment of the following master degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos. Master of Arts in Economics, Wafula Kevin Wanjala. Master of Arts in Sociology in Community Development and Project Management, Dieto Austin. Master of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication, Yobesh Mahaga Omonga. Master of Arts in Literature, Esther Cherono. Master of Arts in English Language and Linguistics, Grace Konyu Degwa. Master of Arts in Criminology and Criminal Justice, Pauline Wamboi Njoroge. Tineka Obadia Nyariki. Master of Science in Information Science, Philip Kamau Mushiri. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective master degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 5 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you sat with the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Commerce and the Senate for the conferment of the Master of Business Administration degree of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation list booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos. Master of Business Administration, Finance Option, Boyon Geoffrey Kipet. Keston Enoch Kipragat. Koech Enoch Kipkurui. Motian Ann Washuka. Mutuku Stephen Mumina. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of their respective master degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 7 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfy the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Education and Community Studies and the Senate for the conferment of the following master degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos. Master of Science in Agricultural Education, Maina Esther Modoni. Bori Peter Otieno, Master of Science in Agricultural Extension, Bada Owen Austin. Deceased Alfred, Master of Education in Science Education, John Keaoto Geshohi, Master of Community Studies and Extension, Amuime Lamech. Kakuku Charles Oko. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective master degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following one candidate, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Engineering and Technology and the Senate for the conferment of the Master of Science in Agricultural Engineering degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with her photo. Master of Science in Agricultural Engineering, Sang Helen Gerotich. The graduate is asked to await the conferment of the master degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 8 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Science and the Senate for the conferment of the following master degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with their photos. Master of Science in Chemistry, Pakar Fasahat Abdul. Master of Science in Biochemistry, Areba Gerard Otuabe, Oduma Collins Okinyi, Nyamota Richard. Master of Science in Plant Pathology, Mosomi Robert Ombati. Master of Science in Limnology, Adaba Stephanie Wagari Kamau. Master of Science in Animal Physiology, Katana Ledia Kadzo. Kiplagat Ann Jepkorir. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective master degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 1 candidate whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Institute of Women, Gender and Development Studies and the Senate for the conferment of the Master of Arts in Gender, Women and Development Studies degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen together with her photo. Master of Arts in Gender, Women and Development Studies, Lokia Asimit Asunta. The graduate is asked to await the conferment of the master degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I kindly request you to confer to the graduates the respective master degrees.
Conferment of master degree, I admit the person named to the respective master degree of Egerton University for which you have been educated, trained, examined, and qualified. and by my authority, and that the entire university gives power to read and do all the appertain to the degree. Congratulations.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 9 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Agriculture and the Senate for the award of respective diploma of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Farm Resource Management, distinction, Mwasia Euticas Kimeu, Mukule Felix Mololo. Credit, serial number 3. Pass, serial number 4 to number 5 on page 19. Diploma in Horticulture. Credit, serial number 1 in page 19. Pass, serial number 2 to serial number 3 on page 19. Pass, Diploma in Dairy Technology. Pass, serial number 1 on page 19. Graduates are asked to await the award of the respective diploma by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 12 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Commerce and the Senate for the award of the Diploma in Procurement and Supply Chain Management of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Procurement and Supply Chain Management. Distinction, Jepet Choirin, Makoli Womeka, Mutoga Grace Wairimu. Credit, serial numbers 4 to 7 on page 20. Pass, serial numbers 8 to 12 on page 20. Graduates are asked to await the award of the respective diplomas by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 36 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfy the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Education and Community Studies and the Senate for the award of respective diploma of Egerton University. The names of graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Agricultural Education and Extension, distinction, Kipchumba Albert Koech, Michael Mito Omondi. Credit, serial number 3 on page 21 to serial number 23 on page 22. Pass, serial number 24 to serial number 30 on page 22. Diploma in Education Primary, credit, serial number 1 and 2 on page 22. Diploma in Education Arts, credit, serial number 1 and 2 on page 22. Pass, serial number 3 and 4 on page 22. Graduates are asked to await the award of the respective diplomas by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 1 candidate, whom I have the honor to present to you satisfy the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Health Sciences and the Senate for the award of the Diploma in Clinical Medicine and Surgery of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Clinical Medicine and Surgery, serial number 1 on page 23. The graduate is asked to await the award of the diploma by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 6 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Science and Senate for the award of the Diploma in Modern Chemistry Laboratory Technology of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Modern Chemistry Laboratory Technology. Distinction: Kiplagat Joan Jepkogei. Credit: serial numbers 2 to 4 on page 24. Pass: serial numbers 5 and 6 on page 24. Graduates are asked to await the award of the diploma by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 3 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine and Surgery and the Senate for the award of the Diploma in Animal Health of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Animal Health. Pass. Serial number 1, page 25. Unclassified. Serials number 2 and 3, page 25. Graduates are asked to await the award of the respective diploma by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 1 candidate, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Institute of Women, Gender and Development Studies and the Senate for the award of the Diploma in Gender and Development Studies of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Diploma in Gender and Development Studies, credit, serial number 1 on page 26. The graduate is asked to await the award of the diploma by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I kindly request you to award to the graduates the respective diplomas.
The award of diplomas. Acting on the powers conferred by the University Act 2012, and knowing that you have satisfied the University Senate in all the subjects which you were enrolled, trained, and examined, it gives me great pleasure to award you the respective Egerton University diploma. Congratulations. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 24 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Agriculture and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Technology. Second class honors, upper division, serial number 1 on page 28. Second class honors, lower division, serial number 2 to serial number 4 on page 28. Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 1 on page 28. Bachelor of Science in Soil, Environment and Land Use Management, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 1 on page 28. Bachelor of Science in Horticulture, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 1 to serial number 3 on page 28 to page 29. Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Economics, second class honors, Upper Division, serial number 1 to serial number 2 on page 29. Bachelor of Science, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 3 to serial number 4 on page 29. Bachelor of Science in Agribusiness Management, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 1 to serial number 4 on page 29. Pass, serial number 5 on page 29. Bachelor of Science in Animal Science, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 1 to serial number 4 on page 29. Bachelor of Science in Dairy Technology and Management, second class honors, Law Division, serial number 1 to serial number 2 on page 30. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 102 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfy the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Arts, serial number, second class honors, Upper Division, serial number 1 on page 30. Second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 2 to 15 on page 30. Pass, serial number 16 to 17 on page 30. Bachelor of Arts in Communication and Media, first class honors, Mbuthia Susan Wairimu on page 30. Second class honors, Upper Division, serial number 2 to 6 on page 31. Second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 7 to serial number 11 on page 31. Bachelor of Arts in Criminology and Security Studies, first class honors, Ikiara Charles Mwenda, Loveka Alex Mukayaki on page 31. Second class honors, Upper Division, serial number 3 on page 31 to serial number 41 on page 32. Second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 42 to serial number 55 on page 32 and page 33. Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Sociology, second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 1 on page 33. Pass, serial number 2 on page 33. Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Religious Studies, second class honors, Upper Division, serial number 1 on page 33. Second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 2 on page 33. Bachelor of Arts in History and International Studies, second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 1 on page 33. Bachelor of Library and Information Science, first class honors, Indako Winnie Majani on page 33. Second class honors, Upper Division, serial number 2 to serial number 5 on page 33. Second class honors, Lower Division, serial number 6 to serial number 8 on page 34. Bachelor of Science in Economics and Statistics, second class honors, lower division, serial number 1 and to serial number 2 on page 34. Pass, serial number 3 to serial number 6 on page 34. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of their respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 92 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, certified the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Commerce and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduate booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Commerce, Accounting Option, First Class Honors, Kiungu Assumpta Nyambura. Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial numbers 2 to 5 on page 35. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial numbers 6 to 14 on page 35. Pass, serial number 15 on page 35. Finance Option, Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial numbers 16 to 28 on pages 35 to 36. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial numbers 29 to 43 on page 36. Pass, serial numbers 44 to 47 on page 36. Human Resource Management Option, Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial numbers 48 to 52 on page 37. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial numbers 53 to 55 on page 37. Procurement and Supply Chain Management Option, Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial numbers 56 to 59 on page 37. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial numbers 60 to 63 on page 37. Insurance and Risk Management Option, Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial number 64 on page 37. Pass, serial number 65 on page 37. Marketing Option, Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial numbers 66 and 67 on page 38. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial numbers 68 to 70 on page 38. Bachelor of Procurement and Supply Chain Management. First Class Honors, Kyoko Joseph. Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial numbers 2 to 16 on page 38. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial numbers 17 to 21 on pages 38 to 39. Pass, serial number 22 on page 39. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 390 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, certify the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Education and Community Studies and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Education and Extension, First Class Honors on page 40, Habego Brian Odinga, Duarte Michael, Oduogo Seth Otieno, Onchonga Esther Mola, Taiwa Gideon Kipkonga. Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serial number 6 on page 40 to serial number 30 on page 41. Second class honors lower division, serial number 31 to serial number 53 on page 41. Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Human Ecology Extension. Second class honors lower division, serial number 1 and 2 on page 42. Bachelor of Education Arts, first class honors on page 42. Chepkrui Ivi, Isoi A. Eden, Kamau Mary Nyambura, Kimonda Chebon Vivian, Kimore Anthony, Kiptun Diana Chepkolil, Rusibo Caroline, Miregi Felix Otieno, Moki David, Muange Calvin Wambua, Moteje Galveda, Mwarara Benson, Nyakeki Jerida Gati, Zioki Dennis Kioko, Simiu Berida Nerima. Second class honors upper division, serial number 16 on page 42 to serial number 156 on page 46. Second class honors lower division, serial numbers 157 on page 46 to serial number 210 on page 47. Bachelor of Education Science, first class honors on page 48. Bukebi Helen, Cherotich Philip Cherego, Huka Bonaya Huka, Idhari Emery Kamami, Juma Emmanuel, Kedi Glory, Masai Mase Binya Chebet, Baka Dennis Mwiti, Muteti Eric Muindi, Geleu Boniface Mokili, Jiru Winkate Wawira, Ojamong Daniel Obarasa, Okoth Churchill Otieno. Second class honors upper division, serial number 14 on page 48 to serial number 87 on page 50. Second class honors lower division, serial number 88 on page 50 to serial number 115 on page 51. Pass. Serial number 116 and 117 on page 51. Bachelor of Science in Clothing, Textiles, and Interior Design. Second class honors upper division. Serial number 1 on page 51. Second class honors lower division. Serial numbers 2 and 3 on page 51. Bachelor of Science in Community Development. Second class honors lower division. Serial number 1 on page 51. Second class honors lower division. Serial number 2 on page 51. Bachelor of Psychology. Second class honors upper division. Serial number 1 to serial number 3 on page 51. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following one candidate, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Engineering and Technology and the Senate for the conferment of the Bachelor of Science in Instrumentation and Control Engineering degree of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Science in Instrumentation and Control Engineering, second class honors, lower division, serial number 1 on page 52. The graduate is asked to await the conferment of the bachelor degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 6 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Environment and Resources Development and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Science in Natural Resources Management, second class honors, lower division, serial number 1 on page 53. Pass, serial number 2 on page 53. Bachelor of Science in Ecotourism and Hospitality Management, second class honors, lower division, serial number 1 on page 53. Bachelor of Science in Geography, second class honors, lower division, serial number 1 on page 53. Bachelor of Science in Wildlife Enterprise and Management, second class honors, upper division, serial number 1 on page 53. Second class honors, lower division, serial number 1 on page 53. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 115 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners in the Faculty of Health Sciences and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, serial number 1 to 52, on pages 54 and 55. Bachelor of Science in Clinical Medicine, serial number 1 to 28, on pages 55 and 56. Bachelor of Science in Nursing, serial number 1 to 35 on pages 56 and 57. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 35 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Science and the Senate for the conferment of the following bachelor degrees of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Science, Second Class Honors Upper Division, serial numbers 1 to 6 on page 58. Second Class Honors Lower Division, serial numbers 7 to 17 on page 58. Pass, serial numbers 18 and 19 on page 58. Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Science and Technology, Second Class Honors Lower Division, serial numbers 1 to 3 on page 59. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Second Class Honors Upper Division, serial number 1 on page 59. Second Class Honors Lower Division, serial numbers 2 to 5 on page 59. Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry, Second Class Honors Upper Division, serial number 1 on page 59. Second Class Honors Lower Division, serial number 2 on page 59. Pass, serial number 3 on page 59. Bachelor of Science in Actuarial Science, Second Class Honors Lower Division, serial numbers 1 to 5 on page 59. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following one candidate whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine and Surgery and the Senate for the conferment of the Bachelor of Science in Animal Health Management of Egerton University. The name of the graduate is listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Animal Health Management, Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serial number 1, page 60. Graduate is asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degree by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in the 2018-2019 academic year, the following 29 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you certified the Board of Examiners of the School of Distant Learning and the Senate for the conferment of the Bachelor of Military Science degree of Egerton University. The names of the graduates are listed in the graduation booklet and displayed on the screen. Bachelor of Military Science, Second Class Honors, Upper Division, serials number 1 to 22 on page 61. Second Class Honors, Lower Division, serials number 23 to 29 on page 61 to 62. Graduates are asked to await the conferment of the respective bachelor degrees by the Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I kindly request you to confer to the graduates the respective bachelor degrees.
Okay. Conferment of the bachelor degree, I admit you to the respective bachelor degree of the Egerton University for which you have been educated, trained, examined, and qualified, and by my authority, that of the entire university, gives power to read and do all that pertain to this degree. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, Chancellor, for conferring the degrees. Let's give a round of applause to our graduates for work well done. Thank you so much. Graduates, congratulations. We wish you all the best. On YouTube, Mary Oliech, Hans Oduor, Elias Gitonga have been following. On Twitter, at Remy Mutinda, following, and congratulations to our graduates. Thank you. May I take this opportunity to say thank you so much and for participating with us. Graduates, now it's that time when you are looking forward to your certificates. Remember, it's that time of social distance, and you will go onto our website, faculty by faculty. There will be dates indicating when you'll pick your certificates from the university. So check the dates on the website, the Egerton University website, and dates will be indicated by faculty so that you can be able to come and pick your certificates. And may I, before I invite the Vice Chancellor, may I just thank the Cabinet Secretary and the Principal Secretary, Minister of Education. You've brought us beautiful weather, Buenos Aires. We are in the middle of winter around here, and today we have beautiful weather. We really thank you and your team and our guests also for coming today. May I take this opportunity to invite the Vice Chancellor to announce the end of the ceremony. Madam Vice Chancellor.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, in accordance with the Statute 44, Section 4 of Egerton University Statutes 2013, I now declare the 42nd Congregation of Egerton University dissolved. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the graduates. And just an announcement, Faculty of Education, we are coming over to see the model preparation for the mitigation of COVID-19. And after that, we'll go to the old hall to see the model hostel, how we would like it to be.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chancellor, for that communication. And may we be upstanding for the national anthem and the East African anthem. Thank you for the national anthem. And now we will have the procession start leaving the dais in reverse order, led by the mayor's bearer, followed by the cabinet secretary, the principal secretary, the chancellor, the vice chancellor, the chairman of council, deputy vice chancellors, deans and directors, and the student representatives. Karibuni, and thank you so much. Band, procession music to exit the pavilion.
The class of 2020 will forever be unique. Egerton University, transforming lives through quality education.